All right, let's get to the edge room, guys, because that's the fun one I know everybody wants to talk about is the edge room there. Because quite frankly,
We be edging.
hold on. Whoa, that's a whole separate issue there. We're not edging. Let's be very clear on that right now. Live on YouTube, we are not edging.
YouTube don't demonetize us.
Wow, we're getting us taken out here. But it's because of the fact that this is considered a huge strength now for the Giants and the pass rush as a whole, but because we added a certain rookie. So obviously, I'm still going to say the number one edge rusher for us is Brian Burns. You know, I'm not going to put a rookie number one, so they've proven they are number one. And I got to wonder because I feel like the issue of Brian Burns all along for much of his career, if not all of his career, really has been the help around him.
I was going to say, he played with the Panthers.
Yeah, he never got help around him in Carolina. I mean, I can't exactly say he had amazing help around him with the Giants last year.
No, you really can't.
Like Kayvon, again, on and off. Kayvon has good games, bad games. You know, you get some games where you're like, did Kayvon do anything? And you have other games where like, oh my God, Kayvon got 2 sacks.
Yeah.
Usually it's against the Commanders, but still, I mean, you have
Kayvon had like 27 pressures.
You know, you had Ojolari last year. Like he didn't really have help around him last year. He's got help this year. And that's, with obviously some caveats we don't know on. Again, Kayvon's still there. Carter, we don't know what he's going to be yet fully. But I feel like this is a good chance for us to see the real Brian Burns. Hopefully he's healthy because he had health issues last year. He's fighting through injuries and continue playing throughout the end of the year. Hopefully he's healthy. And I think he's a guy that you could see do double-digit sacks. And I don't think he'll ever be the 15, 16 sack guy. Like, I'm not crazy like that. But maybe he hits 11.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you get 10.5, 11, like...
Yeah. And
very much think you come again.
And you get that with also his great run stopping, too, because he is very good at stopping the run and setting the edge against the running back there. That's one of the things he doesn't ever get enough credit for, I feel like. Again, I didn't like the contract when he got it. I still think we overpaid for him. Like, I'm not going to change my opinion on that part there, but I still think he's a hell of a player. Just not a $30 million player.
Yeah, I mean, we shall see.
But
this year and the following year.
The run defense never gets enough credit, though, when you're a defensive end. Like, would you rather have a guy like Yannick Ngakoue, who went how many years getting 10 sacks a season and just didn't play the run at all? Like a Gastineau when he was with the Giants kind of player. Same with the Jets, that kind of player. Or would you rather have a guy like Burns who's going to get you 8 to 10 sacks and do really good run defense?
Yeah. I mean,
either answer is right, by the way, I should say. Like, I'm not trying to say either one's wrong or right. There's benefits to both, obviously.
Well, yeah. I mean, not every team is just going to straight throw the ball constantly. They're going to start running the ball. So, you got to have that, you got to be able to stop the run.
Now, Jay says, if top of the market is $42 million, 28 for Burns is great. Is it? Is he the top of the market? Like, again, I'm not trying to disrespect the man. I respect a lot of what he did last year for the Giants. He was not in a good situation, wasn't healthy. He didn't have any help around him. But you want to put him at top of the market? You want to put him with Myles Garrett? TJ Watt? Was he that kind of player?
Yeah, but that's not what Jay's saying there. He's saying that the average edge player is $25 million. So the top of the market is 42. So when you pay $28 million for Burns, isn't that bad?
I don't know.
So that's the new market. It's called inflation, Drew.
I know. Trust me. I see it every time I go to the grocery store. Inflation. I know all about it. As my Cocoa Puffs now cost twice as much.
So do your edge.
It's my Cocoa Pufflation.
Yeah, Cocoflation.
At this point, I even get Cocoa Puffs. I go over to Walmart and get the big bag with the Ziploc top.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but it's got dinosaurs on it. That's all I know. And Jay says burritos are $15 now, unless you go to Chipotle. Then they're $20. Yeah, exactly.
Have you got a Taco Bell recently?
Woof. What was that?
Have you got a Taco Bell recently?
Woof. No. Listen. I it's a guilty pleasure of mine, Taco Bell. It really is. And I still miss the caramel apple empanada, though I did not eat it when they brought it back temporarily because I don't want to get hooked on it again and then have them take it away again.
Just to rip out your apple heart.
Exactly, but they were very good back in the day. So, yeah. See, real quick, Ray also asked, hello, everybody. Is Darius Alexander injured? Haven't heard much about him. Yes, he's been battling an injury, though we haven't got much details on it. So, nothing horribly, or we probably would know by now, to be honest with you. Let's see here. He says, Mexi Melt was your best item. No, the chicken quesadilla. I don't know what it is. I like it.
Nope.
It's simple.
Volcano burrito.
Or the cheesy gordita crunch.
Anything with the jalapeno sauce.
No, anything with the Baja sauce.
Oh, see, we're gonna have to disagree here because
the Baja sauce, amazing. Now Jay's now booing us. I'm not sure which one he's booing, the Baja sauce or the jalapeno sauce. Jalapeno sauce.
That's part of the chicken quesadilla, is the jalapeno sauce.
But I know it is. I always tell them light in the jalapeno sauce. They use too much. I want tons of cheese, tons of chicken, which is bad because then it's like basically just cheese and chicken on the tortilla.
Pretty much just the case.
I know. It is what it is. It is what it is. Anyway, let's get to the rest of the guys here. So Kayvon Thibodeaux. Obviously, listen, guys, this is a big year for Kayvon potentially.
Huge.
There's been a lot of rumors about trade options with him and stuff like that. I don't think he'll be traded. I've said it before plenty of times. I stick to that. I think he'll probably be a guy that sticks around, at least for this year and the start of next year, because he's under contract for the next 2 years. And it's not a crazy, ridiculous number. I think it's number 16 in year 5, so nothing crazy like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So he's easily 50% of Brian Burns, to use Jay's theory here. But I do think this is a big year for him. I really do, because if he wants to be a long-term Giant, if he wants the possibility of a long-term deal, he's got to do something this year. Because otherwise, what's to stop the Giants being, we got Burns, we got him on a big deal, we got him to 2 more years after this, because he's 3 more years in, end of the year, 2 more years. You got Carter, who you still got 3 years at his rookie deal plus the 5th-year option at that point after the end of the year. Maybe he becomes trade bait if the Giants don't see a future in him. But after the year. And if he wants to be a Giant, which I do think he wants to, because he wants the spotlight, and let's be honest, playing in New York helps you get a spotlight, then he needs to show up. And not just against the Jets and the Commanders. Like, he needs to show up against all the offensive lines, not the ones that are the bottom 5 in the NFL. And I think he has the ability. I really do. I think he's a good player. I think he already is a good player, even. But I think he's got the potential to be better than what he's been so far. And that's the key thing is, and like Jay says, Burns and Carter's contract don't overlap. They can keep them all until Burns is done. Well, they do overlap a little bit, because you got 2 more years of Kayvon. You got 3 years of Burns. I'm sorry, you got 2 years of Kayvon, 3 years of Burns left on their deals. So you got 1 year there, but you don't have any big deal for Carter until several years down the road, because we just drafted him. So those 3 could stay together for 3-4 years, no problem. But Kayvon's got to do his part, because you're not going to put $16 million into a third edge rusher if he's not doing great things. You're going to say, you know what? He's got value to somebody else. We'll use him as a backup basically at this point, because I do think Carter probably will take over from him. I think he'll probably win out eventually and be more the starter. It's not going to happen. You're not going to keep a guy for $16 million sitting on your bench if he's not producing. This is a crossroads year for Kayvon Thibodeaux.
Yeah, so he's got to start getting those sacks and stop that run.
Yeah, but that being said, he'll be on the roster this year, definitely,
without a doubt.
Now, with that, Abdul Carter. Now, Abdul Carter, I got to say, guys, I didn't know where to put him at first. He's going to play mostly edge, I think, because he's just got amazing bend and amazing abilities overall. But I do think he's also going to play linebacker. So we're putting him in the edge group, but he's definitely a linebacker as well. So edge/linebacker. But the big thing with him is, can he at all live up to the hype he has? Because he's getting hyped up as being like the second coming LT here. Didn't help that he tried to get his number, but I'm just saying, like, he's being hyped up like that, And to me, that's always dangerous for the rookie. That's like he can get 7 sacks, and we've talked about this before. And you and I both said if he got 7 sacks to the rookie, we'd be happy.
And there's going to be people out there where he's got to get 12 or more.
And there's exactly, and I don't think that's realistic to put on a rookie. If he gets 7 or more sacks, I'm happy.
Yeah,
I think that's reasonable,
especially because he's going to be playing like kind of in rotation here.
But he's also playing with other guys who can also get to the quarterback. Like he can't have 10 sacks. Burns has 10 sacks, and Dexter Lawrence has 10 sacks.
But can't we?
I'm just
saying. Fox gets like 5.
I'm just saying though, like that you can't all get 10 sacks. Like it's not going to happen. Like that's just not. I'd love it to happen. Don't get me wrong, and I don't want to like give props to the Eagles and Cowboys. Remember a couple of years ago, they each had like 4 or 5 players that had 10 sacks, but it's not normal.
No,
that's not something realistic.
Last year, right?
No, like 2 years ago. Them and the Cowboys both had like 10 sacks for like 4 different players apiece. It was insanity, but it's not realistic.
It's not messed up.
Yeah. So I'm not going to expect it. I'm going to expect that. I'm going to expect him just to play solid football, be decent as a coverage guy because he's going to be asked to do coverage sometimes. And I'm also going to ask him to go ahead and have 7 sacks. And I think that's a damn good year. So Jay goes, this guy can sell a vacuum to a homeless guy and can't market his own show. I threw the challenge flag on that. Maybe, Jay, maybe. We say that we suck at marketing and need your help to encourage people to help us, regardless if we do or don't actually suck at marketing, which would in turn make us geniuses at marketing.
Listen, what's better at marketing? 2 guys, 2 goofballs, or hundreds of goofballs?
Exactly. Though we do kind of suck at marketing.
We're terrible, actually.
Yeah, but as we both get home, we're like, I'm tired of this. Let's just talk football for a little bit and go to sleep.
Yeah. It's like nonstop.
He says 4D chess.
Guys are out there playing checkers. We're playing chess.
Oh, yes. Like what's the version? Isn't it a 4D chess? Isn't that the one they did in Big Bang Theory with the tears?
Yeah, it was from like Star Trek.
Yeah. So, all right. Next up, we have Victor Dimukeje, who is the one who I think we're going to have everybody mispronouncing names of all day long, but he's also been dealing with injury already, but he's a veteran backup edge rusher. He's been a solid veteran backup edge rusher. I think he'll probably make the team for that reason alone because he's the only edge rusher that's done anything in the NFL besides the big 3. Assuming he's healthy, obviously. We have to assume that part there. I know he's battling an injury earlier. We'll have to see how he goes, but I got to imagine he's going to make the team because of that. You got Timon Fox, who just always seems to be sticking around.
He's mediocre until he finds himself in the right situation and keeps himself around consistently.
It goes back to mediocrity all over again.
Yep.
He's a borderline NFL player. That's what he is. This is what his career is going to be. Practice squad, active roster, practice squad, active roster. That's what he's going to be. And I ain't hating when I say that, guys, because that means he's a whole lot better at football than I am. But and he's going to make some money in the process doing this deal. Let's be clear on that. Those game checks are nice. But I can't sit there and say he's a guy that makes their active roster, knowing the way his career has gone so far. Unless he takes some kind of step up or there's an injury that, causes a change there. I just don't see it. And then we also got Trace Ford, the undrafted rookie free agent, who, quite frankly, I'd be shocked if he makes it to the end of practice squad. I mean, he's just not a guy that I was kind of shocked they even signed him. I'm not a fan of his work overall. I don't think he's a guy that should be interested in, lacked production in college, had injuries, was also a guy that played multiple positions. They kind of put him as a hybrid linebacker safety. They put him as an edge rusher. They put him everywhere.
Yeah.
We saw how well that worked. Just saying. Don't Isaiah Simmons this. At least Isaiah Simmons was the first round pick. This is an undrafted rookie free agent. So I think we cut our losses pretty quickly with that. So that being said, got us keeping 4 edge rushers in this group. Keep in mind, got Chauncey Golston, who is on the defensive line technically, but can also play the position. So allows you to get a little bit light on the edge rusher position overall. So Burns, Thibodeaux, Carter, obviously that goes without saying. And I'm going to say Victor Dimukeje also ends up staying on the roster as well as our backup edge rusher. And then you end up getting, like I said, you got 4 on there with a 5th option, and that's
Which
plenty.
Fox.
Yeah, that's plenty at that. I said Fox, I think, will be the practice squad again.
Yeah, I think so. And I think depending like injuries, depending on what's going on, he'll be coming up. You will see him on the field. I just don't think
you'll see him on the field for 5 games a year, like he always is.
Yep.
Maybe special teams. They call him up. That's what he is, you know.
Yeah.
They say the only one that has no shot is Ford, because I do think that Fox has a chance to make it as that last edge rusher still too. I wouldn't completely say it's a given, but I just think that's the way it's going to pan out. So,
thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
If you like that clip, then you will love the full episodes too. Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.